Hello, and thanks for coming back to another one of my talks geared towards making quarantine a bit better or maybe a little easier. Um, Today, I just thought I'd talk about kids and coping with kids when everybody's in quarantine and kind of stuck together. I've gotten questions about, what are some good ways to work with kids when you're doing homeschooling and having to deal with kids around all the time. That's not something we're used to. We're used to having these things on weekends, but sometimes having kids around constantly and in need of attention can be kind of overwhelming for people. Not always, but sometimes. Um, so one of the first things I'd recommend is kids kind of, depending on the age, but kids crave schedules. They crave consistency. So now's the time to be as consistent as possible. Um, Try to have regular wake up time, regular bedtimes, regular free times, regular even exercise times, things that you can do together that are consistent and that they can count on. Um, and as far as behaviors go, one of the mistakes parents make a lot, there's two actually. Well, parents make lots of mistakes. As an aside, one of our jobs as evolving adults, our job is to survive the wounds of childhood and become who we're meant to be anyway. No one comes out of childhood unscathed, and so part of our job is becoming adults and and growing up, in essence, is to survive and then also work through those childhood wounds. So try to notice when your kids are doing things you like, things that are good for everybody. We tend to always, and this doesn't just with kids; it can be with your partner as well. But we tend to notice when people do things we don't like, and then we give it attention. And attention is a reinforcement, and all reinforcements increase behavior. And so when you only notice when your kid is, making too much noise or drawing on the wall, whatever it might be, uh, they are getting attention when that happens, when you even yell at them, which I don't recommend. um, so what you want to do is catch your kid being good. You can also catch your partner being good and try to reinforce those behaviors. And if you can at all, ignore the minor things. Don't ignore things that are dangerous, obviously. Um, but if it's something that's not too annoying and too problematic, ignore it and wait for something good to happen. It can be literally, hey, I just noticed, how great you were watching TV and letting me shoot a video, do whatever it is you had to do. So catch your kids being good and be consistent. In behavioral psychology or in behavioral education too. There's this thing called there are these things called reinforcement schedules, and variable reinforcement is the most reinforcing kind of reinforcement there is. And basically that's like a slot machine. That's when you give in once in a while. That behavior that you give into once in a while will happen more frequently than if you gave into it every single time. And people make that mistake, particularly with kids. I want this, no, 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 and then finally yes. Well, that's worse than just saying yes every time as far as like reinforcing the behavior. So really be consistent. Eventually, kids will get the picture and they'll kind of understand that, hey, when you say that a situation is going to happen in a certain way, that you mean it. And it's really detrimental for both of your mental health to be inconsistent. So, in short, catch your kid being good or your partner, um, and try to ignore the minor things that are ignorable, and and you know, look for ways to have as much consistency as possible. Anyway, I hope that's helpful. Obviously, if you have other ideas, I'd love to hear them too. And if you think that was useful and you'd like to subscribe, that'd be great too. I think I'm at 27 subscribers right now, so thank you, you 27. And I don't know, I'm enjoying doing these, so thanks for giving me a reason to sit in front of the camera for a minute. All right, stay strong, and I'll talk to you again.